I would like to bring up Sharon Hildebrand. She's going to be our moderator for the leading digital transformation in the billion-dollar industries. And so first off, she's a Cancer, which means she's moody and sensitive. So be nice to her. But she's from Hitachi Solutions America. She's sales and alliance technology executive. She's a board member. She's committed to elevating women in technology leadership roles. Her mantra is everything happens for a reason. And she's dialing in from Illinois. Am I right?
That's right.
That's right. So please help me welcome Sharon Hildebrand. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Patty, and thanks for all of you. Another great session, Chai. As Patty mentioned, I now have the honor of leading a panel discussion with some amazing women. $1 billion in economic access. That is the Women in Cloud focus, and that focus is definitely shared by the leaders that you're going to meet today as we drive a panel discussion around leading digital transformation in billion-dollar industries. Not million, but billion. So please join me in welcoming our panelists for today, Merritt Thatcher, CEO of Argyle, Heidi Watson, founder and CEO of Canadian Electronic Health Information Systems, and Gauri Selka, CEO of Volantis Analytics. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
What I'd like to do is start the conversation and the panel discussion with having you each talk about what your solution is, what you do, what you bring to market, and then find that with an icebreaker. If you were given $1 million, what would you do to disrupt the markets that you actually focus on? And we'll start with you, Merritt. Actually, we'll start with Heidi.
Sure. So I'm Heidi, founder and CEO of eHis. We have a enterprise-ready Guardian EMR. It stores medical records, and we have a really unique privacy by design approach that lets us get health data where it needs to be while solving the internal security issues that most traditional systems see. So we're trying to disrupt information silos in healthcare. And if I was given $1 million right now, that could really help me to make that big impact in this market to really prove our solutions freedom and flexibility in its workflow, and that we take care of security compliance so that our clinicians don't have to. So it really helped me get the news out there.
Great, thank you. Gauri, same questions to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Nice to meet you all. Hi, I'm Gauri. I'm CEO of Volantis. Prior to this, I was the head of data analytics at Walgreens. And my solution that we built in Volantis is to help Fortune 1000 organizations like B2B solutions for them to build digital literacy, because that is found as a main blocker for the organizations to adapt emerging technologies. So we make it easy to build data literacy within the organizations, and we also provide intuitive guided workflows so you can include a diverse cross-functional teams who are not chosen to be technologists in the beginning, but they can be part of the solution so they can build AI capabilities to transform their job and the organization. And if I'm giving 1 million, I think I can spend it right away, because I will find thousands of people who will become data savvy, and they will be more successful in this technology-driven economy.
Love it. Love that doing good while doing well. Before we move on to our next question, I want to make sure and just do a check if I'm assuming Merritt might be having technical issues, or I don't see her. Is Merritt on? Okay, let's go ahead and let's continue the discussion. Since you have the mic already, Gauri, focus on digital learning and working with Fortune, the large, top of the Fortune list of large companies. What made you choose that market out of curiosity, and why was that important to you to disrupt?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I've been with Walgreens for more than 20 years, Sharon. So with being in a Fortune 20 now company, right, Walgreens, what I have seen as a head of data analytics is technology is never a blocker. right? We have enhanced the tools and solutions greatly, but change management and giving people the right knowledge to be successful is where most of the organizations struggle. And I have been part of many conversations where we have reduced workforce because we just don't have the right job based on their skill set. So that was my passion to start this, start Volances, which is focusing on data savviness. We want to provide applied AI knowledge to people as they are doing work. Because as workforce and as large companies, we just don't have time to send our workforce separately for a training. So we have integrated training with guided workflows, so they learn as they are doing, as they're applying AI and transforming their job. So obviously, I'm very passionate about that. That's why I took this chance of building the right solution for the large organizations.
AI is an amazing space. I had the pleasure and honor of actually being on a panel that Chai hosted a few months ago, and AI was a big topic of conversation as far as there's great, wonderful things, but when you think about disrupt, there's responsibility around that as well. So I would like to put a bookmark in that because I see that Merritt just joined, and I would love to have that conversation, further that AI conversation with you. Welcome, Merritt.
Thank you.
So we haven't gone too far down the panelist path yet, but I did want to give you the opportunity. I introduced you and your title and your company. What we were asking everyone to do was to talk about the market, talk about your solution and the market that you're serving. And if you were given $1 million, what would you do first thing to disrupt the market that you're serving?
My goodness. Okay, so I'm Merritt, and I brought my prop. I work in the construction industry, and I wear a HoloLens on the job site. And we put the building information models, those models that the architects and the construction folks are building, and we put them onto the job site in one-to-one holographic overlay. And I had $1 million to change this industry. Honestly, I would spend some of it buying HoloLenses and some of it sending people out to the job sites and showing them their new capabilities, because it is something new. It is something we've created, and we're creating spatial computing for the construction industry.
Yeah, wow. Massively amazing and disruptive, and props to you bringing a prop. So I think that should be a best practice going forward for all panelists.
I was literally using it just before this meeting.
Okay. Heidi, same question to you that I'd asked Gowri. Why did you choose healthcare to disrupt and build your business around?
So I've been in healthcare myself for.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I've been in healthcare myself for almost a decade, in both public and private settings. And when I had my own private practice and we were looking for a digital sales, couldn't get around all of the usability issues of current systems that are on the market. And so we decided to really just jump in and tackle some of those issues ourselves. And so to date, we have commercialized a full EMR system with the charting, scheduling, and invoicing, which is kind of like the basic tier for this market. And so now we're really getting to step into that space of innovation and dealing with interoperability issues. And it's getting really exciting now. Whereas before it was just a person in healthcare with their own practice trying to make something for their own business that worked. And now we've really built it to this larger enterprise scale, which is really exciting.
Okay, so everything happens for a reason, as you heard Patty say, and I think the fact, Merritt, that you had a tech issue, and I had Gowri and Heidi answer this question first, makes it really fun to ask the same question to you, because it's very evident, both Gowri, from your experience working with a Fortune 20 company and how now that's your target market, and then Heidi, your experience in healthcare, what you've lived through and what you've done, you've definitely brought to the current jobs you have and the opportunities you have to help others. So Merritt, construction, female, there's got to be a story there.
There is.
Okay.
So my mom owned a construction company, and she was a women minority-owned certified business, got some federal contracts, and really found her niche. And when I grew up, what my experiences was construction. I did not like, because it meant mom and dad were home late. They were home infrequently, and they were off at job sites, and it felt like there was just very little control. As I got older, I realized and learned a lot about the construction industry and just the sheer difficulty it takes to manufacture a building. Think of manufacturing a product and then throw it away. A building is completely different, and it's different every single time you make it. And so when I learned about building information modeling, I was just psyched, and I thought this and augmented reality are going to go together like peas and carrots. And I don't know, little girls will get their parents home earlier, hopefully.
That is awesome. Great story. So all of you are leading the way with creating cloud-based solutions that are disrupting your individual industries and world. When you think about lessons that you've learned, and something that we is often referred to as the gold standard, what could you share as far as your version of the gold standard for developing cloud solutions that would benefit those that are participating in this conversation, that aspire to get to the place you're at right now with your own companies and your careers? And I'll go ahead and I'll go back to Heidi.
So I think if you're building a cloud solution and you're going after global markets like these billion-dollar industries, I think it's a big deal that your solution can be shifted between different hosting providers, that you're not microservice dependent, because then those walls can kind of block different entry points into other markets. So that flexibility is what I would focus on.
That's great. Merritt, how would you answer that question?
Oh, I mean, I took the other tech where it's really at that user level. So building it with the people you're intending.
That's a great idea. Yeah, no, and I think that's so applicable across the board. I work for a technology company, and user experience is extremely important to us. Gauri, what's your lessons learned or gold standard feedback that you can give?
No, I totally agree with what Heidi and Merritt said. I think they both are important. On top of it, what I would say is also the cloud, today's technology, especially the cloud solutions provided, are coming with inbuilt capabilities. So with your first version, always try to leverage that, especially that's my big lesson learned coming from Fortune 20 organization where I had like 70 million budget to, I don't even have $7 now. So leverage what you have and go with the first version, build with the client, and then continue to enhance from there and adopt with all clouds. So you start with where the customers are.
Yeah, brilliant advice. Think about your user first. So all of you are doing amazing disruptive things, and there's always risk to that. You have a new idea, you want to try something fresh. How do you test the waters when you're thinking about that new idea, test the market, figure out how disruptive perhaps you want to be, and really looking forward to any and all insight here. Again, when you think about entering a new market, maybe you already have, or what you went through when you first thought about HoloLens for construction, what can someone do to kind of either A/B test or get input, get advice when they want to explore their cloud-based solution that's destined to disrupt. And I will start with Merritt.
Man, I was hoping you wouldn't pick me first. That's a tough one. And honestly, something as a founder who developed the technology out of a passion for augmented reality, I would give a new founder like Merritt the advice that the vision that I have is correct, and there are baby steps to get there. And I think that A/B testing you're talking about, really what it looked like for us is just doing small portions of the building, working closely with one contractor, or just even figuring out user interface workflows. Those things I think I really took for granted early on, how much work they would take. But at the end of the day, I think also little Merritt needed to hear, little Merritt, like 2 years ago, Merritt, I've grown up a lot. I really needed to hear that my vision is correct. We're joking about we're not joking about it, our astrological signs. I learned my sun, moon, and rising are Steve Jobs's, Pisces, sun, Aries, moon, and a Virgo rising. So there's just a lot going on over here. And I don't think that my ultimate vision is incorrect, but I do need to work with my industry in bringing them along to that. And that's honestly why I would spend that money just getting hats on heads.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I absolutely love the conviction to staying true to that inner voice, having confidence in yourself, being open to feedback and input, and starting that process early and often, depending on where you're at. Gauri, what do you think with regards to entering a new market, testing the waters? What has been some of your experience, and how would you answer that question as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally with Merit. I think, coming from a large organization, I think this has been a huge learning for me. I feel like I'm completely relearning how things are done, because large organizations have, and especially our solution is for Fortune 1000, and they are change averse, right? Like they just cannot start. And you have to build a long-term relationship with them in order to get even start your testing. So my change, which I really wish, I'm with Merit, like my younger self of 2 years back. So I wish I would have understood that reality and started off with smaller organization, which is what we did now. Finally, started with smaller organization. Even though we are not learning everything, but you're learning enough, and you have to believe in your vision and conviction, and get through the uncertainties with courage. And the network we have, right? Like that's why I think the WIC and other networks are so important, because, when you hear from Merit, when you hear from, I think that emotional support is the key to continue through these uncertainties.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you are able to pay attention to the chat, but boy, there's some great affirmation and confirmation of trusting yourself, trusting your insights, trusting your gut. So thank you everyone for continuing to share your feedback with our great panelists in the chat. Heidi, what would you like to add to that?
I think it's so great to hear. Kind of what we did when we first started our A/B testing was we went to boomers retiring to the lake that still wanted to practice really casually. And so we needed those non-tech people to try out our tech, because we really wanted that ease of usability. And we're planning on going into international markets that are not as saturated, maybe don't have as much tech as we see here in the West, so that we're ready with a product. And so yeah, our new market testing though too is where are you with your tech, and what kind of equipment do you have, and what kind of internet stability do you have, to make sure that the kind of market is ready. So yeah, I definitely agree. You kind of have to start small and then work up from there.
Yeah, awesome. Well, ladies, we're through the formal Q&A, although I feel like I could just kick back and continue this conversation and learn from all of you, as I'm sure everyone who's joined you can. As we kind of close out our round and give thanks for having this time together, any final words of wisdom, inspiration, a favorite quote? Let's leave our audience with a delicious nugget they can carry with them through the rest of the weekend. And I'll go back to you, Heidi.
Sure. So my biggest nugget of wisdom, I think, I have a really big problem with the fail fast, and really what that means, because massive groundbreaking changes in large industries don't happen overnight. And so you can't be a flash in the pan. And so it's really important to take time to build something that's actually groundbreaking.
Really, really interesting. I think we could have a beer or coffee conversation about that one. I used to actually fail fast quite a bit. Gauri, closing words of wisdom.
Yeah, no, talking about Steve Jobs, I think give your customers what they are going to want. And that's not easy to do, because you have to believe in your vision. And that, it's very common for me. Once I get through the first conversation, my customers are always saying, oh, we didn't think this way at all, right? So that always happens. So to believe in yourself and think of what they're going to want and go get it.
Yeah, outstanding. Merit, mic to you.
Okay. Scarcity does not exist. In an abundant world, what is the problem is access. And that is what Women in Cloud is helping with. So remember that, and remember how you can use your flow and you can channel access to others, because there's not scarcity. It's just access.
Wow. What a great way to wrap up an amazing conversation. Can't thank all of you enough. And again, Women in Cloud, for the opportunity and thoughtfulness of bringing these three powerhouses together. So thank you again very much. Mhm. Yes, I have goosebumps too. And you saw me do that. That was Merritt. That was and that was going to last with me for the rest of the weekend. So thank you again, everyone, and hope our audience enjoys the rest of the programming today.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the opportunity.